anything that is keeping us from running in faithfulness or that weighs us down or holds us back, the author says, man, get rid of it. Throw it off as quickly as you can. One of the best ways that I know how to do this in my own life is through prayer. Praying for God to reveal those areas in my life that are holding me back, those sins that are entangling me and keeping me from taking my next step of faith. And I'm telling you, every time I pray that prayer, it's like God takes a spotlight and shows me. And sometimes I'm like, ooh, no, I didn't mean it, God. And sometimes it's exactly what I needed to see. And he gives me grace and forgiveness that I need to be able to throw it off so I can run with him. We've been singing a song recently in our 9:30 and 11 o'clock service called Gold. And I love the lyrics of the chorus. It says, find me here in your presence. I'm not leaving the same. Let your refining fire purify me again. Let the weight of your glory bring me back to my knees. Oh God, come with revival, and you can start it in me. And there is something so powerful that happens when we look within and identify those things that are holding us back in our faith, or that sin that we are entangled in and weighing us down, when we purify our hearts through confession and prayer and we run in the freedom of grace. And if we want to experience revival in our lives and in our church and in our community, that is where it starts. It is so easy for us to point fingers all around the world and say, well, that's the reason why there's not revival that's happening, when Jesus is pointing his finger at us and going, no, is it happening in you first? Are you being honest with your sin before me and wrestling with it and laying it down and throwing it off so that you can run in the freedom of grace? And when we do that in our own lives, that is when revival starts in us. And when it starts in us, then it flows through a church and through a community. And we're going to be talking a lot more about this through the fall, but Sherwood Oaks turns 60 on December 4th. And independent of each other, God has put on several of our hearts that leading up to our 60th anniversary, man, we need to be crying out to God for revival in our lives, in our church, in our community, and around the world. And so on Tuesday nights, starting on September 13th, we're going to open up the chapel just right towards the end of the hall from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. for an old-fashioned prayer meeting. No fancy title, no programming. And we're just going to spend 1 hour each week, whoever shows up, crying out to God in prayer to bring revival in our lives and in our church and in our community. And church, I cannot think of a better way for us to turn 60 and to look to 60 more years and beyond of ministry through this church than that. And so I am inviting you to come and to join us. Mark it on your calendars to come and pray for the Spirit of God to fall fresh on us and to lead us to an even brighter future for his glory.